my name's Jade and today we're going to be talking about Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This is a thriller novel. You probably actually already know what it's about. Had a lot of hype around not very long ago. I actually read it quite a while ago. I'm just now getting to the review. It's a mystery kind of novel. It's about a married couple and the wife goes missing and there's a lot of drama that ensues. It's pretty interesting. That's what got me through it, at least. I was interested to find out what happened, why it happened, how it happened, those kinds of things. It wasn't my favorite or anything, but I went through it very quickly. I would give it like a 7 out of 10 because I did enjoy it, but it's not my favorite or anything. There were a lot of the characters were really annoying to the point where it wasn't an enjoyable experience reading the book. One of the characters I had a really hard time with. Also, I really didn't like the ending. It really annoyed me, and so yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's overhyped, but if you've never heard anything about this, I recommend you leave now because I don't want to. I feel like going into it blind is probably the best way to do it, and because it got so much hype, not everyone has been able to do that. And so if you haven't heard about this, I would recommend leaving and then coming back after having read it from now on. If you've heard nothing about it, if you've heard stuff about it, if you've heard the hype, then I'm only going to repeat what you've already heard. So everyone goes on about a plot twist. I don't like it when people tell you that there's a twist in a book, because then you know it's coming and you're going to start trying to guess what it is and figuring it out. This gave me problems. I wouldn't necessarily say it's overhyped, but kind of lots of the things people have been saying about it, if you know those things going into it, it's not the same experience it probably is when you don't know anything about it. I know there's a movie come out. I haven't seen the movie yet. I want to. I will eventually. I would really like to read more of her books though. I know there's 2 others. I read The Grown Up by her, which is like a short story. The other 2 sound pretty interesting and I would like to read them. I did enjoy it, but I just remember being very frustrated, which you're supposed to be frustrated, but I don't know, I don't think I came out of it like, oh my god, this was amazing. I think I came out of it like, oh my god, really? Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for the non-spoily section. I feel like going in blind is the best way to go about it. And I would say if you like thrillers, if you like mysteries, if you like trying to figure things out, you'll love this. And it was really interesting the way she wrote it. She did it very well, I feel like. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. If you haven't read it, please leave because I don't want to spoil you and I'm about to get into the spoilery details. There were moments when the characters would go off on a little ramble. That's all fine and dandy. Obviously, it's a normal thing to happen for characters to, think of something and then go off and explain it before getting back to the original point. Like, it's happened before, but it would happen to the extent that I would get bored and be like, what is the relevancy of this? Shut up. And I would like start falling asleep because I'm more interested in what's happening. I don't know. There were times where they droned on a little bit more than I personally like. Okay, should we address the big thing here that kind of tortured me throughout this whole experience? Amy Dune, I don't know how you say her name. Is it Dunn, or is that how I said it in my head and that's the wrong way of saying it? I'm gonna carry on saying Dunn. I don't know how it's actually pronounced. I don't know if I've ever hated a character as much as I hated her. It was just the most annoying, selfish, arrogant, self-absorbed, frustrating, spoiled. I didn't like her. I didn't like her at all. And I know she has redeeming qualities. And I know that, her parents weren't very nice to her. And that her husband was cheating and she was in a really horrible situation. But how she like pretended to be cool girl and then she married Nick, right? And Nick's thinking he married the love of his life, great. And it was all an act. She was pretending to be that person and she's actually not that person. And then she started revealing herself, her true self, and Nick didn't like her. And they started arguing more. And this is her way of getting revenge. I don't understand how she can be mad at him and how she could expect him to love her like that when she knew she was lying to him and he fell in love with an idea. You create this idea. It's your fault that he doesn't like you. He's never met the real you before, so expecting him to like you is, in my opinion, asking too much. Why would he automatically like you? I don't understand. he fell in love with this different person. The sun's setting and all of a sudden it's gotten very dark. And how she was really mad at her parents. They had a miscarriage, didn't they? I felt bad for her parents for having to raise such a devil child. I remember they had like a miscarriage or something, and on the day that that child was supposed to be born, her mother would want to take like a minute to herself, and Amy forcing her mother to pay attention to her, and she would like clamber all over her. And I remember thinking, she's gonna want to mourn. Like, there's not an easy thing to go through, I would imagine. I can't remember what it exactly was. I just remember feeling sorry for her parents. I know they were kind of idiots, but still. And then we have the whole end, and she gets so, not only does she get away with the whole thing, and she put Nick through all of that, and then gets away with it, but also she's pregnant, and so devil child is on the way, and then she forces Nick to stay, and so she gets away with it all, and wins. And I know it's like real life, and in real life, things don't always go the way you want to go, but just one of the most annoying endings. I liked Nick. Again, I know he's like a jerk and he cheated on his wife and he's not very nice. I understand that, but I was rooting for him. And I feel very sad, very bad for him. There was also a lot of suddenness. It gets me every time. I don't know why I have such strong feelings against it, but I do. When things would just like suddenly happen, the alarm clock suddenly goes off at the right moment. What would you know? It frustrates me because that doesn't happen in real life. It's a weird little thing to be annoyed at, but it annoys the hell out of me. Just saying. So we open up with Nick hating his wife. He hates his wife, he's disgusted with her, blah blah blah. And we're thinking, okay, what could she have possibly done for him to hate her so much? And I feel like you're supposed to kind of suspect him. You're supposed to actually feel like he's unreliable and he's not telling you the whole truth, and he did kill her. Because we flash back to Amy's diary and she's perfectly nice and perfectly normal. However, going back to the diary entries, I didn't like her then. She annoyed me then. She made me feel uneasy. She was was she too nicey? Or there was something, I remember thinking there was something up. The whole twist, right? So everyone and their mom had told me that there's this big amazing twist and you won't see it coming and you won't figure it out. So I start thinking about it. You know, plot twists, they're typically the thing that you least expect, right? Everyone would be expecting it to be some big horrible thing. Someone kidnapped her, she's gone missing, someone's keeping her. I remember watching the trailer and it alluded to the fact that she was dead and like at the bottom of a lake somewhere, or that someone had kidnapped her. So you're gonna go to worst case scenario, right? And you're gonna think it's gonna be a big, horrible, crazy thing. So I think, okay, it's gonna be something that we're not expecting. So it's gonna be the exact opposite. She just ran away and he has nothing to do with it, because you're gonna start expecting it to be him, because you're gonna think that he's unreliable because he hates her with such passion, and then you go back to her and she's lovey-dovey, and then you go forward and you're like, okay, what's going on here? And you're not really supposed to trust him, and so therefore you think he might be lying to us, blah blah blah. So I figure, you know what, he has nothing to do with it. She just ran away. She ran away and she needed a cover up, and so this is the way she decided to, you know, something along those lines. And then it's revealed that she did in fact just run away. She found out that Nick was cheating and she wanted to get back at everyone who'd done her wrong. And so I was very underwhelmed, because this plot twist to me wasn't a twist at all. It was exactly what I thought was gonna happen. My psychic book predicting abilities kicking again. I'm getting too good at predicting things. It's getting to the point where I'll think something will happen and then it'll happen and I'll be like, oh. I don't know if you remember, like back in the early days, my early book talks, I would constantly be saying like, I'm so bad at figuring things out. I can never find out what's going on. I can never guess what's gonna happen. Everything surprises me. And then Allegiant happened and I predicted something because I figured things out for the first time I ever used my brain. Had an epiphany, and then since then I'm on fire. What can I say? It's a gift and a curse. I liked the mystery aspect to it, the thrillerness of it, the excitement, and the puzzle pieces. I remember there was the treasure hunt and there was all the clues. I really liked that part. That was probably my favourite part. She planned everything out very well. I'll give her that. She was very smart, very careful. I don't think I would have been able to pull that off. And the way she wrote it and the way she described things and kind of the back and forth, the tension really built and the suspense really built. The climax was right, and I feel like if I wasn't told about this huge plot twist type thing, the plot twist and the climax would have been more exciting. It's not the book's fault that kind of I'd been told that there was a plot twist, and so I was expecting it. And so I'm not saying that it's a horrible book, I'm not saying she's a bad writer, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, due to the circumstances and my easily being frustrated and my strong hatred for the character, I just can't say that I loved it. Andy, the girl that he was seeing, she was very, very irritating as well. Nick was written for us not to trust him, like he would leave details out from us. There's another one of my pet peeves when characters don't tell you the full story and they are unreliable and untrustworthy. It's happened a couple times now, or they hide things from you and then they'll blurt it out, and I'll just be like, why are you telling me this now? Like, I get why authors do it, but it frustrates me. I typically don't judge the book on that fact, it's just something that gets to me. And then just when she was chilling in the motel and she had two friends or whatever, I was hoping they would find her out and kind of take her back, and they ended up just stealing her money. That frustrated me. I remember being annoyed with them for stealing her money, and I don't know whether I actually started rooting for her a little bit. Also, when she did return, I thought he would have like a plan and he would pretend to like her and love her and give her compliments and say, I was so worried, blah blah blah, until he had the evidence so he could reveal what had actually happened, and then he could win. He just, no, he went in straight for the kill. You idiot, I hate you, what are you doing? It's very frustrating that they had so much evidence and they had this whole system and they didn't end up being able to bring her down. It's very frustrating. I remember liking Nick's sister quite a lot as well. She was kind of, I feel like, my favourite. She kind of said it how it was, if I remember correctly. And I think Nick's big redeeming quality was his father and how horrible his father was and how he didn't want to turn into him. And that kind of made me sympathise with him and root for him, and the way she kind of used that against him. I think that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening / night. My name's Jade. I hope I'll see you again next time. Bye. Again next time. Goodbye. Goodbye? That's not right. Bye. That's even worse. Okay, do it properly. Bye. No. Okay.